They thought they had you figured out. They crafted their game so meticulously. Every rule, every boundary, every expectation designed to keep you trapped in their web. But here's the thing about games. They only work if both players are willing participants. And now you've stopped playing. You see, their rules were never meant to empower you. No, their rules were chains, disguised as guidelines. Do this, they said. Be this, they demanded. Stay small, stay quiet, stay obedient. Every word was a brick in the wall they built around you, a prison of their design. They wanted compliance, submission, a puppet dancing on strings. What they didn't realize was that every time they tightened those strings, they were teaching you something far more valuable than obedience. They were teaching you how to cut them. At first, it was subtle. You felt it in the moments when their words no longer stung quite as deeply, when their sneers failed to ignite shame, when their manipulations began to feel hollow. It wasn't sudden. Transformation rarely is. Instead, it was a slow unraveling, like threads pulling loose from a fraying rope. You started seeing cracks in their facade, the inconsistencies, the lies, the desperation masked as authority. They preached control, but their own foundations were crumbling. They spoke of power, but theirs was borrowed, fragile, propped up by your belief in their illusions. And then came the day you realized their game wasn't real. It was smoke and mirrors, a house of cards waiting for the slightest breeze to topple it. Their rules weren't laws, they were suggestions. Suggestions you were free to ignore. That realization was the first step toward freedom. Not rebellion, not defiance, but simply disengagement. You stopped feeding their narrative. You stopped giving them the reactions they craved. You stopped playing. But let's be clear, stopping isn't easy. Oh, they'll try to pull you back in. They'll dangle carrots, wave red flags, do whatever it takes to reignite your participation. Because without you, their game falls apart. Without your energy, their drama fizzles out. Without your compliance, their power evaporates. So they'll push harder, shout louder, twist truths until they're unrecognizable. They'll accuse you of betrayal, of ingratitude, of selfishness. But none of it matters anymore. You've seen through the veil, and there's no going back. The beauty of stepping away is that it doesn't require confrontation. You don't need to scream or rage or fight fire with fire. All you need to do is refuse to engage. Silence becomes your shield. Stillness becomes your weapon. Every insult they hurl bounces off because you're no longer standing where they expect you to be. Every scheme they devise collapses under its own weight because you're no longer there to hold it up. They can rant and rave all they want, but without an audience, their performance loses meaning. Stopping also means reclaiming your time, your energy, your focus. Think about it. How much of yourself have you wasted trying to meet their expectations? How many hours have you spent agonizing over their opinions, their judgments, their approval? How many dreams have you sacrificed at the altar of their demands? By stepping out of their game, you take all of that back. Suddenly, you're free to invest in what truly matters to you. Your goals, your passions, your truth. Their noise fades into the background, replaced by the clarity of your own voice. Of course, they won't go quietly. They'll scramble, desperate to regain control. They'll accuse you of changing, of abandoning them, of being ungrateful. But here's the irony. They're right. You have changed. You've evolved beyond their reach, beyond their understanding. To them, change is terrifying because it disrupts their carefully constructed reality. But to you, change is liberation. It's shedding the skin of who you once were and stepping into the light of who you're meant to become. As you distance yourself from their game, something remarkable begins to happen. The weight lifts, the fog clears. For so long, you've been carrying burdens that weren't yours to bear, their insecurities, their fears, their failures. Now, piece by piece, you set them down, you release them, and with each burden you let go, you grow lighter, freer, stronger. Their chaos no longer consumes you because you've chosen peace instead. Their toxicity no longer drains you because you've chosen vitality instead. Their game no longer defines you because you've chosen authenticity instead. This is what happens when you stop playing their game. You reclaim your power. Power isn't loud or flashy. It's quiet, steady, unwavering. It's the ability to walk away from what no longer serves you. It's the courage to say no when everyone expects you to say yes. It's the strength to stand alone when the world pressures you to conform. Their game thrives on dependency, on fear, on control. But power thrives on independence, on courage, on freedom. And now, that power belongs to you. Now that you've stepped out of their game, something extraordinary begins to unfold, something they never anticipated. Because when you stop playing by their rules, you create space for a new kind of existence, one defined not by their limitations, but by your limitless potential. This is where the transformation deepens, where the seeds of resilience sprout into towering trees, roots firmly planted in the soil of self-awareness. Let's talk about expectations, the ones they placed on you, the ones you internalized, the ones that shaped your identity for so long. Expectations are insidious creatures. They creep into your mind, whispering lies about who you should be, how you should act, what you should achieve. You're not enough, they hissed. You'll never measure up. Over and over, they drilled these messages into your psyche until you almost believed them. Almost. But now, standing outside their game, you see those expectations for what they truly are. Illusions. Empty constructs designed to keep you small, to keep you compliant, to keep you trapped. Here's the truth they never wanted you to discover. You are not bound by their expectations. Their version of success, happiness, fulfillment, it's irrelevant. What matters is your vision, your purpose, your path. And guess what? None of those things require their validation. In fact, the moment you stop seeking their approval is the moment you unlock your true potential. Their expectations were cages, but yours are wings. Spread them wide, and watch how high you soar. Rising above their expectations requires a shift in perspective, a recalibration of your mindset. For so long, you measured your worth against their standards, chasing accolades and affirmations that ultimately left you empty. But now, you understand that worth isn't external. It's intrinsic. It doesn't come from titles or trophies or applause. It comes from within, from the knowledge that you are whole, complete, enough exactly as you are. Once you embrace this truth, their expectations lose their grip on you. They become irrelevant, powerless, meaningless. But rising above isn't just about rejecting their standards. It's about creating your own. It's about setting boundaries, priorities, goals that reflect your values, your desires, your dreams. Maybe their game revolved around competition, comparison, conquest. Yours doesn't have to. Maybe their idea of success looked like wealth, status, recognition. Yours doesn't have to. Success, after all, is subjective. To them, it might mean climbing ladders and hoarding power. To you, it might mean cultivating joy, building connections, living authentically. There's no right or wrong answer, only what resonates with your soul. As you rise above their expectations, you begin to embody a new way of being, a way that prioritizes authenticity over conformity, growth over stagnation, empowerment over oppression. You start making choices that honor your truth, even if they defy convention. You start speaking your truth, even if it challenges the status quo. You start living your truth, even if it means walking a solitary path. And with each step, you shed another layer of their influence, another remnant of their game. Here's the kicker. Rising above doesn't mean ignoring their existence entirely. On the contrary, it means using their actions as fuel for your evolution. Every insult, every betrayal, every attempt to drag you back into their game, it all becomes material for your growth. Pain transforms into power. Anger transforms into motivation. Fear transforms into courage. They tried to use these emotions against you, but now you wield them as tools for transformation. Every wound they inflicted heals into wisdom. Every scar they left becomes a badge of honor. Every battle they fought becomes a lesson learned. And oh, how frustrating it must be for them to witness this metamorphosis, to see you rise above their pettiness, their cruelty, their manipulation, to realize that their efforts to break you only made you stronger. They underestimated you, didn't they? Thought you'd crumble under the pressure, fold under the scrutiny, disappear under the weight of their expectations. But instead, you emerged victorious, not because you defeated them, but because you transcended them. You rose above their game, leaving them behind in the dust. This is what happens when you stop playing their game. You rewrite the rules. Their rules were restrictive, confining, suffocating. Yours are expansive, liberating, empowering. Their rules were designed to limit you. Yours are designed to elevate you. Their rules were rooted in fear. Yours are rooted in love, for yourself, for your journey, for your future. And as you live by your own rules, you inspire others to do the same. Your rebellion becomes a beacon of hope, a reminder that freedom is possible, that authenticity is achievable, that greatness is within reach. When you stop playing their game and rise above their expectations, something profound occurs. You become untouchable, not invincible, not immune to pain, but untouchable in the sense that their words, their actions, their manipulations no longer affect you. You've reached a state of emotional sovereignty where external forces hold no dominion over your inner world. This is the ultimate victory, not destroying them, but rendering them irrelevant. Untouchability isn't achieved overnight. It's the culmination of every decision you've made to prioritize yourself, to honor your truth, to reject their toxicity. It's the result of countless moments of self-reflection, self-discipline, self-love. It's the embodiment of resilience, strength, and unwavering conviction. And once you attain it, there's no turning back. Being untouchable doesn't mean shutting people out or isolating yourself from the world. Quite the opposite. It means engaging with life on your terms, surrounded by those who uplift, support, and celebrate you. It means recognizing toxic influences and refusing to let them penetrate your spirit. It means setting boundaries without apology, saying no without guilt, walking away without regret. It means living authentically, unapologetically, unreservedly. One of the most beautiful aspects of becoming untouchable is the sense of peace it brings. For so long, you lived in constant turmoil, caught in the crossfire of their drama, their chaos, their toxicity. But now you exist in a space of calm, clarity, serenity. Their storms rage on, but they no longer touch you. Their schemes unravel, but they no longer concern you. Their words fall flat. Their actions lose meaning. Their presence fades into insignificance. You've detached emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You've risen above their reach, beyond their grasp. Another hallmark of untouchability is confidence. Not arrogance, not bravado, but genuine, unshakable confidence. Confidence born from knowing who you are, what you stand for, why you matter. Confidence rooted in self-worth, self-respect, self-belief. Confidence that radiates outward, commanding respect, admiration, awe. People sense it immediately, the aura of someone who cannot be shaken, cannot be broken, cannot be diminished. They may try to challenge you, to provoke you, to undermine you, but their efforts bounce off like water off a duck's back. You've cultivated a fortress within yourself, impenetrable to negativity, indestructible against doubt. Becoming untouchable also grants you a unique perspective. You see the world differently now, not through the lens of fear, insecurity, or inadequacy, but through the lens of possibility, opportunity, abundance. You understand that their game was never about you. It was about them, their insecurities, their fears, their need for control. Their attempts to bring you down were projections of their own shortcomings. Once you grasp this truth, compassion replaces resentment. Pity replaces anger. Forgiveness replaces bitterness. Not because they deserve it, but because holding on to negativity would only weigh you down, and you refuse to carry anything that doesn't serve your highest good. Perhaps the greatest gift of untouchability is freedom. Freedom from their opinions, their judgments, their expectations. Freedom from the need to prove yourself, justify yourself, defend yourself. Freedom to live authentically, boldly, fearlessly. Freedom to pursue your dreams, chase your passions, fulfill your purpose. Freedom to love yourself fiercely, unconditionally, completely. Their game sought to imprison you, but untouchability sets you free. This is what happens when you stop playing their game. You become unstoppable. They thought they could define you, confine you, diminish you. But instead, you've transcended their limitations, embraced your limitless potential, and claimed your rightful place in the world. You are no longer a pawn in their game. You are the master of your destiny. Their rules no longer apply. Their expectations no longer bind you. Their chaos no longer touches you. You are untouchable. And as you move forward, remember this: Their downfall isn't your responsibility. Let them grapple with the consequences of their actions, the weight of their sins, the echoes of their mistakes. You've already done the work. The hard, painful, transformative work of breaking free, rising above, becoming untouchable. Now, it's time to focus on you, on your journey, on your legacy. Because the world doesn't need another victim. It needs a warrior, and that warrior is you.